Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Morning Brew. Wherever you are, whenever you're watching, I do hope it's a good one. Let's see here. Let's get started this morning. I want to say hello to Keely Chow. How are you this morning? Good morning. Good morning, Dave G Sound. Good morning, NB Geek. I think we can do without the pictures. Of course, you could just come on without brushing your hair, but that would just confirm something we already know. Sorry. I'll be nice. I'll be nice. Good morning. Let's see here. Good morning, Resolute Germ. Good morning, Mega Cropper. Good morning, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Good afternoon, Dr. Alex. And let's see here. Who else is in the building? I think that's all I see for now, which is cool. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? It was funny. I was listening to stream last night where oh gosh, I can't think of the name now. Had obviously, prepared everything and gone in painstakingly done a lot of work with what he was talking about. And it got me to thinking, because I used to try to figure out what to talk about and blah, blah, blah. And it just like, when I did that, it stopped being fun for me. Now I know that some people absolutely love and need everything timed out and controlled, and that's great for them, but it's not for me. I love having the unexpected here and there. And good morning, Bird of Prey 5. How are you? Good morning, Gap Stargate. I'm sorry. Good morning, Gap After Dark. God. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Gap After Dark. Ooh, I deserve to be yelled at for that one. I really do. I look at the screen, I read it, and I go right back to the old name like people had done with me before. Dr. Alex is currently rendering another classic novel, classic cartoon, this time Moby Dick. Ah, sounds good. Looking forward to watching that, Dr. Alex. Let me go ahead and pin that comment while I can. Now, I'm not going to actually create a poll for this because, we only got a few people watching and people can leave comments afterwards if they really want to. Or you can leave something in the chat now. Because obviously the pros. Let me see who's backstage. Dr. Alex.
Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't had time to do my hair as well. Not really. Yeah, I'm trapped indoors because it's raining for once, amazingly, which we actually need, really. So I've got a little bit of time to spend indoors.
Good.
Although I'd kind of like to be out and continue to do my work in the garden, but not in the rain. Although the sun has just this second come out. You can probably tell I'm suddenly illuminated from one side.
Yes, yes. So, how do you like doing those the videos that you put together?
The classic cartoon ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're really just sort of a station-keeping video project while I'm waiting to get the Doctor season 14 together, as I'm sure you're kind of aware.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you painstakingly find these different versions that are available. It's not like
there is some time goes into it. This is true. they're not like instantly made. I'm putting some effort in, but it's still not. It's not my main thing. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying putting them together. I'm enjoying people watching it. I'm always in the stream when they're running, so I get a lot of feedback from people there. Who is it? Oh God, it's gone out of my head. There's somebody who's always there. Oh, the soda engine is always in the chats for those, and really seems to be getting into them and enjoying them, which is good. So that was the purpose of doing it. These cartoons are old. Nobody really cares about them. There aren't any good quality versions out there that I can find. So I've done my best to make them as good as I can.
Right. Trust me. When you've got you're using two or three different versions to create one cohesive blend, that takes work. We're not talking like 30 seconds here and there.
Yeah, Marco Polo hasn't. That one's not up yet, is it? I haven't released that one properly, have I? That one took quite a lot of different cuts to get to the state I wanted it to be in, which is actually really rather good. This final version, but yeah, it does take a while getting stuff. The one I'm just doing, Moby Dick, was frustrating for me because I could only find really one version that had decent but not very good video quality. The audio was really ropey as well, so I had to use just that one version to do the editing. There were a couple of others on YouTube and other places, but they were even worse. So I've done what I can with the best quality one available, but I'm in this is now a second render. It's not that I'm trying to sharpen it up and correct the color and contrast balance a bit more, but it's as good as I can do.
Well, it sounds. I mean, by watching it, because I watch every time. Sometimes I'm able to watch live, and I'm in the chat, and when I'm not able to, I watch it after.
Yeah, people seem to be. I mean, it's not got massive numbers of views, but then my stuff really doesn't, because I've only got just over 1,000 subscribers, so I don't expect massive numbers of views for these or anything else for that matter.
Let's see here. We got Grandpa Geek backstage.
Oh,
okay.
Hello.
Ah, okay. Coffee's not hot enough. He needs to fix that. So
he's still muted.
Yes.
Something else. Oh yeah, you reminded me. I don't know why that reminded me, but have you been catching my snappy edits of the Orville?
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen it. I'll have to look a little more closely now. Go to your channel.
Unfortunately, they're only viewable on BitChute because YouTube blocks them immediately. I have been putting them in the promote channel thing on your Discord, so they are there.
Okay.
But you unfortunately people have to troll over to BitChute, that where videos go to die. But at least they're there, except for the first one. They blocked the first one, episode 1 of season 3 of the Orville, on copyright grounds. And I was thinking, I can't do this anymore then. But they haven't blocked any of the ones subsequently. So I don't know why they cared particularly about that one. But everything else I've done so far is up there and viewable. Cool. And they're all under the hour. That's my aim, is to get these episodes under the hour in length, which they should be. They shouldn't be so bloated and fat and flabby. They need to be cut and trimmed to be a little bit more pacey, like the first 2 seasons of the Orville were.
There are several of them. It's like, they can either chop out some stuff, or they could bloat it up a little bit and make 2 episodes out of it.
Yeah, there are instances. When I get to the penultimate episode, that one, I know Svilavecki and the Rabbi from Another Planet keeps thinking that should be a movie or a double episode. To be fair, I think that can still be cut down to 1 hour long episode, but yeah, that could have been expanded easily into a double. Do you agree?
Absolutely, I agree. I was just trying to think if I thought, I think it probably could be cut down to an hour, but I don't know if I'd want it that.
I mean, to be fair, I'm having one of the things I'm having fun with the ones I'm making so far, and I'm up to, wait a minute, I think I've done up to episode 4 or 5 now, so I'm making good progress. I'm almost halfway through the season. Is a lot of Ensign Burke stuff is absolutely superfluous. It doesn't need to be there at all. And one of the most amazing things I find while doing these edits, if I cut out something from Ensign Burke, is how the scene continues seamlessly as if it was never there in the first place. It's like, okay, this was truly not worth having in. If you can cut this out and you don't notice it's gone.
Wow. That's bad.
Yeah, it's very bad. The one I've just put together was the Krill version of the Third Reich episode, which it's amazing how much of Ensign Burke I cut out of that, and how it just one saved a lot of time, makes the scenes faster and snappier, and there was no point having her there. Even as the driver getting them to and from the planet, it didn't need much extra dialogue from her beyond, yeah, I'm taking off, yeah, I'm landing. That would have done.
Wow.
So I know Seth MacFarlane wants to give his current shag piece some extra work, but it has made the episodes more flabby.
Be interesting what happens when you come to the final episode, or the next to the last episode. Yeah,
that one's tricky. The final episode actually is one where I feel there's almost nothing that needs to be cut, even though it's kind of a light and fluffy episode. Bizarrely, on the flip side, I don't think much needs to be cut, because with its very nature, it's kind of self-contained and does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, but I mean, like with like I said, it'd be interesting to watch, see what you've done.
Yeah. You now have a homework. You have to go watch them. I'm sorry that the first one is now missing for you, but maybe I can sneakily send you a link to my HD copy that I still have, and you can get your own sneaky personal version of the first episode, which is no longer available.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And thank you, Gap. It's always good for people to share out the link. I do appreciate that.
Smash the like button.
So, as I was starting to say, I've listened to a couple of YouTube experts, and their opinion is, of course, to cut the intro. And I've had enough complaints when I tried cutting it out that I don't necessarily feel like I have to listen to what they have to say.
Do you mean the timer intro to the stream?
Yes.
Can we cut them shorter? I've now just realized that I can change the Premiere intro music, but can you change a stream's length of timer?
Actually, I probably could cut it down. Yeah.
I don't know if it. Your show is a talk show. Your show is a people wandering in and chatting with you. Giving people time to gather in that instance, I think, is not a bad idea, is it?
I don't think so. Uh, I think having a shorter one would probably help, but you know, that
But I
takes
can,
time cutting it down, and
yeah, I can kind of see maybe for premieres of complete videos that are pre-edited, cutting that intro down might be helpful because people watch them more like a TV show and they're there for the time. And it's YouTube;
right.
you can rewind. But yeah, I'm just wandering out of shot because I'm sitting on something very uncomfortable. Okay, there we go. But for your kind of setup for this kind of chat show stream, I think the gentle intro does just give people time to wander in and gather.
And let's see here. Dave G. says, don't cut it. Gives it time to get the notifications out before the content begins. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds sensible.
And good morning, Darren Wagner.
Yay.
Who says, make love to the like button.
But don't make it sticky.
Exactly. Yeah, we still want it to be able to be usable. Here's something going on there. I guess we lost NB.
Oh, yeah, we had his face for a short split second and then he vanished.
Yeah.
Like an old oak table.
The mic's not working.
Ah, that's why you couldn't turn the mic on. That makes sense.
And you're probably right. That's probably the only lovemaking I get because that's all I want.
If I suddenly become less chatty, it's because I'm now multitasking because I'm going to try and send you personally the episode 1 link. So I'm still here, but I'm.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. No, yeah, I mean, you have a lot of YouTube experts that are talking about, things to improve a live stream, things to improve videos and stuff like that. And some of them really, they know what they're talking about. It's just, is there idea necessarily for everyone? No. Do they have ideas that would work for me? Probably. I'll have to look into it, see what I, can figure out. I may be able to cut down the intro a little bit, but probably not by a lot, not by a huge amount at least. But other than that, I haven't really found a lot of things because it's like, well, do this, do that. It's like, well, some things work, some things don't for me. And I think that's one of the things that you have to figure out what works for you.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I will be with you in 2 seconds. So I am half listening, but also trying to do this same time.
No problem. And greetings, Mountains of Elysium. How are you today? On a lunch break and listening in. Well, thank you very much, Mountains of Elysium. Always good to see you in chat. One of these days, going to have to get you on the panel when And here we go with Gap After Dark.
Hey,
Hey, I was gonna say good evening. I just got up. I swear. God. Hello, everybody.
afternoon.
Oh gosh, you know today I told my mom I was like I've got, I've got a little bit of time. It's 7 Central, about where I am now, and
Mm-hmm.
at 9 Central I'm having the power company come disconnect because I'm having a clump of trees taken down. Because you know how rare is lightning strikes? Rare, right? Well, a lightning strike decided to hit this 80-foot maple tree, put a 12-foot gash in it, hit the ground, explode the roots, and then spread out to a fork, blew up one of my cinder blocks, a hole in it, blew up the internet box and all this. So we're having trees taken down today. So I'm up today, and I'm nervous about trees because I know they're insured, but the power company's already been out here three times because a couple of other trees fell and ripped out the meter box twice.
Wow.
And even AT&T's like, we love you, but we don't want to see you again. And I was like, well, that's Mother Nature's fault. And then all of a sudden, I mean, we could have died because the storm was. You ever been in a storm where it's real soupy and mixy, and the air feels electrified, and the hair stand up on your arms and stuff? Well, that's what happened one day last week, and it's a ball of light came inside the living room, and it's like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, yeah. And then it blew up the washing machine, and it's only
Wait,
10.
I'm sorry. Did you have ball lightning?
Yeah.
You
I had a
the actual ball lightning phenomenon inside your living room?
Yes, I told my mom, I was like, Ma, get the animals and get in here. Something's weird outside. And it was so many lightning strikes. She was coming towards me in the middle of the living room, and we saw a ball of light inside the living room.
That is
Holy
amazing.
crap.
I'm guessing you didn't manage to film it, no?
No. But that's one of the reasons why I'm finally up early. And
Be
now,
honest, it sounds like God just doesn't want you online.
yeah, I know you should have seen the AT&T internet box that they put out on the side of your house, and then they run the wire up so they can hook it up to the what do you call those things? English, Gary, telephone poles.
Mm. Yeah.
And and he was like, we've already come out here twice for the trees, and I was like, it blew it up. It was like a phaser blast. I swear. I was just like, oh my god.
Where do you
It's
live?
like living inside Star Trek.
Yes, I mean, because somebody was shooting a photon torpedo towards my house. I was like, damn.
The bridge blows up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh my gosh, and it's just crazy. And but yeah, we're lucky. We're really lucky. But the AT&T guy, Chris, he was like, been out here 3 times. We don't really want to see you again. I was like, okay. But other than that, that's what's going on. And yeah, we happen to live in a weather. I don't. What do you call it? Weather trough. Where the weather always comes in the middle of the state. Where I live, it
Mm-hmm.
it
It's like
all.
permanent depression.
Yes.
Air pressure depression.
I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's just always something, and you know, uh, even the squirrels are going to lose their home today. So I'm so sorry, Mr. Squirrel, but the trees got to come down because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trees in front of the master bedroom, so they're going today. But oh my gosh, but the Orville, huh?
Go ahead.
No,
The
go ahead.
Orville. I was just going to say, it sounds like several squirrels will be losing their home.
Yeah, and then my mom was, she's got the hummingbirds, factory, with hummingbird things all over the place. And I told her we could tell, there's one little maple leaf that's about maple branch that's about 4 feet off the ground. I was like, we can tell them to leave it just for your birds, and everything. But hello, bird. How are you?
Hello, world. It's Berto Prey 5. Kapla.
Kapla.
Kapla. I'm okay. Got a decent night's sleep for once in a while, but still not enough to keep me completely awake. Still a little tired, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I was worried about things hitting the house today because we haven't had luck, and like I had said earlier, it's rare of a lightning strike to hit a tree so close to a house. Usually they go for the highest point. And I'm like, why in the hell did you just blow off the top of the tree instead of 8 feet off the ground? Why it's like a strategic phaser shot. I was like, damn, why me? But the Orville, do y'all think it's going to be renewed?
No.
I don't think so.
I tell you what I am doing is rewatching it over. We're on the second rewatch from season 1 all the way through season 3 on Disney Plus. Just so Disney credits that people are watching it.
Right.
I mean,
Good. Have you been watching my snappy edits?
No, I'm sorry. I don't go to BitChute.
You are on BitChute. You're one of the.
I know. I am on it. My videos go. I haven't been to BitChute in at least 12 months.
To be fair, me neither. I hadn't used it until I had to upload the snappy edits to somewhere, which I could get away with.
I mean, I'll go check it now that you told me about it. I'll see what's going on, but it wouldn't even have occurred to me to check BitChute for anything.
Again, I'm sorry that episode 1 is not there. I might sneakily send you the link I just sent to Captain Panda Nerd as well.
BitChute actually took it down for copyright violation?
Yeah, just the first one.
I didn't know that they would even do that.
No, me neither. I didn't even know they were capable of copyright strike, but they can.
The whole point was that their whole system, I thought, was against being able to take it down. Well,
yeah, but no, for that one they did.
Welcome, NB.
Oh, hey, guys.
Well, hey, NB.
That was a fun troubleshooting deal. I had to restart the computer like 3 times just to get the mic to work. And then literally I lost the audio because unfortunately this computer does not change the audio output. So I had to manually go in and do it to get the sound back up because I was like, oh, I can see that my mic's working, but then I couldn't hear anything. It's like, oh, God, this again.
You were like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
literally. And then I go in the kitchen real quick, and I still thought it was day-old coffee. And for those of you who don't know, this is one of my favorite coffee mugs.
Is that Chippendale? What?
No, that's an old YouTube friend of ours who passed away, unfortunately, and his dog, not his dog, his cat Lacutus.
Oh.
But that was Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. And if you never got to meet with him, he was a treat to have on a stream.
Speaking of Admiral, has anyone heard from his wife?
I haven't talked to her I have her on Facebook.
She used to be on streams recently. And it seems like she just stopped at some point. I don't know if there was anything.
I haven't talked to her in a few months. Every now and again, I might send it out, might ask how are things going. But, I haven't asked in a few months. Just I respect her privacy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying. I was just curious, Hope she's okay. As far as I know, she would come to streams like once a week or so, and then just stop. Yes, Mama Pray. Yeah, she had the surgery.
Yes, she did. So I've got to take my So I got to take my truck in today to Firestone. I kind of got a trifecta of issues. I got a tire that has a slow leak. So I got to take that in to see if, I'm going to have to get it plugged or I'm going to have to replace 2 tires. Need an oil change. I need a tire rotation. And just for fun, my service engine light came on too.
Ah, great.
Well,
at least with your tires, I mean, you can always keep them full. You're full of hot air.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I will say this. One nice thing is I did buy one of those air things to air compressors to fill it up. So I'll fill it up, make sure it's good before we drive. And my wife, Madam Yeek, she's going to drive behind me because we're basically just dropping it off. And I need her with me just in case the damn thing breaks down. And then we're going to grab a brunch, probably IHOP. I haven't been to IHOP in a while. And I took somebody's advice because I was talking to Cap about medications, and I had mentioned I take like 6 pills in the morning, and I said, should I stagger them out? Somebody said yes. So I've been doing that for the last 3-4 days. And so I take 3 of them at like 7 and then 3 again at 9. And I have not had any issues since I started. But I think I know what the main problem was. 2 of them are for blood pressure. The other is basically for hypertension. And I was like, I bet that's because I'm taking 3 blood pressure medications at once. That's probably why I'm getting nauseated.
I would say, yeah, that would be one of the things I would talk to. If nothing else, I'd talk to your pharmacist and say, hey, what are your recommendations on how I should take these, since they are actually professional?
Well, it's basically of the 6, it's 4 medications and 2 are actual vitamins. Like my D3, my B12 are low, so they wanted me to start taking those. And that's fine, but like I said, I just so at 9 o'clock I'll take the other ones, but I've been able to actually eat breakfast when I'm hungry, and I don't feel like it's coming up again. So I'm like, oh, thank God, I feel normal again.
Well, at least with the B vitamins, they are water soluble, so you can, not have to worry about having too much. With that, you can always, adjust what you take, but obviously going with your doctor recommendation is the recommended option.
Yeah, so because when I take my evening pills, I never have a problem. But I went ahead and decided to try that out based on somebody's and I was like, yeah, it's working, and I'm very glad I did that now.
Mega cropper. Meds. I'm not that kind of dog.
Mega cropper.
We're getting close to the farmers around here, I think, getting ready to start harvesting.
Cool.
Yeah. On the Oroville. Oh, sorry, Cap.
No, go ahead.
On the Oroville, you guys are talking. I did not see a damn thing on the D23 Expo, and I'm kind of like it's not looking good, and I'm dejected about that for Oroville. But maybe we'll get lucky. But if we don't, I know some people had a problem with this last season. I personally absolutely loved it, and I thought if this is the end, and the last episode, I was like, if this is the end, this was a damn good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked season 3, but I do see why some people were less happy with it. I think some people were way overreacting to certain things and interpreting it through a lens that wasn't necessarily the only one you could see it through. But correct. I still do think they could have been snappier. They could have been tighter. They were a little bit self-indulgent and flabby, which is why I've been doing my snappy edits where I've been trimming the fat.
I gotcha. Overall... Oh, go ahead, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying you're reducing the BMI of Orville.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, can you do that for my BMI? I'm only 5 pounds down, and today I'm actually going to be able to work out for the first time in 2 days. I count the fact that I walked around for 4 hours at a theme park last 2 days ago as my workout. I think that should count. because it was a lot of walking.
Well, if you do that more often, it'll help. You never know.
Yeah, I did start looking up things for that. My wife wants to get one of those ellipticals, and I'm kind of like, why? So we just throw clothes on, and then I was like, okay, we have a barn, so we can put it in the barn.
And do you have barn animals that can sit on it while you're not using it?
No, we do not have any barn animals. We have 4 dogs, 2 cats, and 3 guinea pigs.
So one night you'll go out and you'll see the cats or the dog turn on the machine and the cats turn.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, that's a funny story. We get back from the theme park, and we had both our cats inside. And one of them is an outdoor cat. Mocha is an outdoor cat. Caramel hates the outside. Will step out and be like, oh, screw this, and go back in. But the moment I opened the door when we got home, Mocha just immediately darted out the door. It's like, get me the hell out of this house. It was pretty hilarious. Dr. Alex, where's your little puss at?
Right behind me. Can you see him?
Yep.
Oh, there he. Oh, yes, I can see him. Okay.
Yeah,
he's so white. I thought it was like a pillow or something.
Yeah, no, she's blindingly white with lots of pink as well. She's actually waiting for the squirrel to come by for food on the windowsill. She loves the squirrel and would love to eat it, but it's never open wide enough for her to get at it. Although it is open, so the squirrel is remarkably cheeky. It sort of just sits there going, yeah, come on then. She can't get it.
My dogs have caught a few moles out in our yard.
Oh, I think she could easily catch anything if it wasn't for the fact the gap is smaller than she is.
Years ago, unfortunately, I had to give away my cat Simba when my ex-wife and I got divorced, and unfortunately, I moved into a place that didn't allow pets. And but this cat was so amazing at pouncing. I'd be outside, and I'd just be like 100 feet away, and I'd be watching Simba. I'd be watching him just do the little thing where they start, and then just boom, and then he got mouses, he got mice, he got freaking got a bird once. And by the way,
he hunts me. So if I'm being lazy, today I've been so knackered doing so much DIY outside. I'm completely wrecked today. I'm only functioning because of the amount of tea I've had. But she keeps hunting me. So if I lie on the bed and she's next to the bed, so if my eyes disappear, she thinks I'm invisible. And then she sneaks up and I can see her ears. And then she jumps on the bed and onto me and attacks me. And then off again. And then repeats this until she gets bored, which usually doesn't happen. So I have to say, enough. But yeah, she's very good at hunting.
Every time my wife leaves, for something, like she left for a week to go help her dad out with his garage, and Caramel is her cat. I mean, Caramel literally, my wife will be in her den, and Caramel is just almost always in there. And we actually had to leave the bedroom door open for Caramel because when my wife was gone that week, she just kept going to that door, and I finally just opened it up and let her in. And the moment my wife gets back, that cat is all over her like a cheap suit.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Captain.
Go, Dr. Alex.
I think Dalek 451 is in the camp of saying this season will absolutely suck. So I wouldn't never go as far as that. I think it was good stuff, but it definitely needed an editor's hand. But we can have different opinions. That's the good thing about fandom in a healthy state. We can think different things.
Absolutely. I'm not of the opinion. It's like, if you don't agree with me, then blah blah blah. I love the fact that we have people of different opinions.
As we should
in this stream.
As we should. See, I'm on the complete opposite camp. I'm the person who has stated I thought this was a masterpiece of sci-fi TV. But I know a lot of people don't feel that way, and I am totally fine with that. I've moved on from the days of being pissed off or, dealing with people that are pissed off because I don't agree with their opinion. I'm like, no, this is not. That's why I say I've left certain areas of the sandbox with people because I'm like, you know what? I don't need your shit.
Exactly. And good morning, Chester. Good morning, Cardinal Sin.
Actually, I need to get with Elihu and Vile Mike because we actually did plan to do a review of each episode of season 3. And the reason why the three of us were going to do it is we're going to have me as the conservative, Elihu as the liberal, and which, by the way, I refer to him as liberal, but really he's classical liberal, not the modern American liberal left. And Vile Mike is more of an independent centrist type. And we all three pretty much love this season. So I thought it'd be great to have different ideological perspectives coming in and saying, hey, why did we love this?
Yeah, that's a very healthy way of doing it. By the way,
absolutely,
I didn't just cut the episodes by cutting out Ensign Burke, which is I did save a lot of time that way, by the way. But for example, the one with the Krill coup, that one, there were, for example, the car chase scene where they're chasing him through the stabbed president on board, chasing through the Krill city. There's a section in that where they repeated essentially the same shot, driving down the street where they outdistanced the cars behind them, and that shot got repeated. That's not the only bit I cut out of the car chase, but the car chase was overlong. It was self-indulgent, and the getting off the planet was overlong and self-indulgent. I was able to find bits to cut. It had nothing to do with ideology, nothing to do with the narrative, really. It was just pacing. It was like, this should be shorter.
So they were Krill joyriding.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, I thought it was a very good. I loved when Dolly Parton showed up. I was actually blown away that they got her on there, and they did a very good job de-aging her. And I thought the song she did as the Orville's leaving out of that cloud area was just absolutely beautiful.
Hang on, doesn't she de-age herself? Isn't that Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. I just found when I saw the log cabin and everything, I was like, oh shit, is Dolly Parton going to show up? Because I do know that about Dolly Parton. I do listen to country music. I don't just listen to hard rock, heavy metal. My grandmother was, country music fan. So, things like Willie Nelson and all, Johnny Cash and all that I grew up on. Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn. I grew up on that kind of country. That's why I can't stand a lot of the new country music because it's too poppy.
I do like 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. That is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought that, yeah, I would agree. Definitely. Let's remember, she did star in a movie called The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, too.
This is true.
I wonder how she de-ages her rack because, it's supposed to slip to your stomach when you get that old, right?
I believe she's had some breast reductions over the years.
I think so, too. One thing about Dolly Parton is she is, she's very neutral talking about anything political. And like a lot of the current actors, she keeps she came out and said, I'm an entertainer. She goes, I just want to entertain. Kind of like when Michael Jordan one time said, hey, Republicans buy sneakers too. They're very, they don't let politics get, in the way of their art or their talent, which I think is a good thing. It's okay to have political views, but when you have people that, go out there and say, I don't want, a particular group watching my show. I'm like, why are you trying to alienate people?
Yeah.
It's like
difficult.
I said.
It's difficult to convince a group of people of anything if you wanted to, if you're not going to talk to them, for example.
Well, we're gonna have some alienation in a few weeks when Rags of Power comes out. I can't wait.
Alienations, really.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I've already got, extra orders of popcorn and drink. I'm just going to sit back and watch both sides review Rags of Power, and I'm going to laugh.
Oh, sorry. It took me a while. My brain took a while. It's the Rings of Power, isn't it?
Yeah, Rings of Power. I'm sorry. I call it Rags of Power.
Oh, that.
There's going to be people on both sides that are going to be. Yeah, they're.
That was because NBU said about not alienating a certain viewing section of the public. Well, Amazon already came out and started to alienate people. So I'm ready for the fourth age of Tolkien, which is going to be the fan explosion. Because they're probably, the number one fandom, even over Star Wars, Star Trek. I mean, they're going to rip this show to shreds. I mean, just rip it.
I'm sure of it. I'm absolutely sure of it. I know people who are very, very heavy into the Tolkien lore. Now, I'm not one of them. I don't know much about the Tolkien lore and the ages of it. I just don't. It's not an area I'm in, and I never claimed to be. I didn't like the way it looked because honestly, it looked
cheap.
Better. Yes, that is exactly it. It looked cheap.
You spending hundreds of millions of dollars per episode, and that's all you get. And I got attacked the other day when I was on Pacific 414 stream in a way, because I said, you watch, see, about episode 3 or 4, there's going to be the orcs on Vespa, like in Star Trek. The orcs are going to be riding some kind of Vespa crap. And plus, the fairies don't look beautiful. And then I don't know if I can get past Don Lemon from CNN, that guy actor that looks just like him in there. Every time I see a clip, I'm like, this is CNN. This is Don Lemon, I guess. Well, I mean, Don is a fairy. No, cruelty meant towards that group, but he is a fairy, so I just I just can't help it, just like I can't watch Next Generation anymore because of Picard, and I'm like, oh gosh. And I made a promise that I would watch Rags of Power, so
I think generally the viewing public have kind of, and in the wider sense, not just the crazy Tolkien fans of absolutely diehard Tolkien fans, have kind of had their fill of Tolkien and not because of this necessarily, but because of the lackluster and overlong 3-film version of The Hobbit. That already was like, oh God, really this long? That kind of turned people off. And I think this, it's not even the cuttings from Tolkien's flaw. It's them expanding on the cuttings from Tolkien's flaw and inserting their own stuff. And as you say, it now looks cheap, either overly CGI, which is one of the criticisms of The Hobbit as well, because they over-relied on the CGI for that too. By the way, while it's still there, check out my Rumble, because there is the Hobbit There and Back Again, which is the 3-hour plus a little bit version of the whole thing in one go. The only way that Jackson's Hobbit can be enjoyed, I feel.
Yeah,
really? You did that?
Say again?
You edited all 3 of those movies into a 3
I did not. Somebody already had. It's brilliant. I can't remember if we ever knew the name of the guy, but the person who did it did a fantastic job. I mean, how he managed to get the wargs, but with the goblins / orcs taken off while they were chasing the dwarves, was I don't know how he did it. He just did a really good edit, and he also got the bit where they fall asleep, or not, Nori or Dory falls asleep because of the stream in Mirkwood, which I don't remember being in the 3 massively overlong versions of the film. That must have been from an extras DVD, but he put it back in, and yet still ended up with a film that was about 3 hours long that covered the whole story. It's the best version. I'll see if I can find a link and shove it in the chat so you can see it.
Well, and
Oh, go ahead, Gap. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Amazon isn't just taking the cuttings off the floor. They don't have the rights to everything, so they can't mention certain things. But they sure are thinking. They sure are thinking they are better than Tolkien, and that my version, is better. And I have to bring it for a new generation. No, you don't.
No.
Like it. Excuse me, but there is no sunlight in the second age. I mean, and if you're underground, you're not going to turn a different color. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's why I'm expecting to see, orcs on Vespas or, a Pizza Hut in the Middle Earth or something. The orcs are going to get tired, so they're going to go, hey, we want one of that Pizza Hut slice. Let's stop off here before we start our adventure. I mean,
the
and
thing
Shalom
is,
Cutting Edge. Go ahead.
I remember reading an article where that somebody was like, "Yes, we're adding things that Tolkien forgot." And like, Tolkien created this goddamn universe in this mythology. He didn't forget a damn thing. You self-righteous pricks. I'm like, you said that, and I'm like, I'm not even a Tolkien fan, but I'm like, that'll piss off Tolkien fans.
Yes, it will. And it's about it's English people too, and and then the relationship with Galadriel, I think it's Galadriel and her husband, they're just going to cut him out, and then I'll expect some girl on girl action in Lord of the Lesbian Rings. I mean, something is going to happen. Look, Dave G Sound, orcs on Vespas, you won the net today.
I have stuffed the Hobbit there and back again link in the chat on YouTube. So
nice, thank you.
Is that the name of it? Stuff the Hobbit?
No, it's the Hobbit there and back again is the fan edit, which I did not do. I just got my copy of it and shoved it up there while I still could, and hopefully it will stay there.
I had to take the cheeky route on that one. Sorry.
Absolutely.
But and then House of Dragons, in a way, why in the hell are you making House of Dragons when we all know what's going to happen with them? It looks better. The previews look better for House of Dragons, but I'm waiting to sit back and find out. Because they're around the same time. I think House of Dragons is actually going to do better, but I wonder why did you do that? Why didn't you do that one first? Because we know what's going to happen.
Is House of Dragons actually based upon what's his face's actual writing? Is it something he actually finished, for example?
Well, yes, that remains to be seen, and you're probably right.
See.
Let the scissoring of the rings begin.
I'm one of those people who found whatever the name of that damn show. What was it? The House of Dragons, the original Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. I found that ungodly boring as hell.
I dropped in and out quite a lot and was only watching it because other people I knew were watching it, and I don't think I got past season 4 or 5. But even with season 1, I was continually seeing Martin, that's his name. I could continually seeing where he was ripping off, and not just nods or homages, ripping off better authors. Michael Moorcock, who, by the way, is still alive.
Yes.
He hasn't written anything good since about the mid-'80s, but he had a ton of stuff from the 60s, 70s up to the mid-'80s that they could be making much better TV shows out of that is finished and there. But Martin's ripping off Tolkien, not just his name, but also just general style. He's ripping off, who wrote Conan? Robert E. Howard. Ripping off Robert E. Howard. He's ripping off Lovecraft as well, H.P. Lovecraft. There are so many much better authors that he's obviously ripping off. Just in season 1, I could see this, why am I watching this when I haven't finished reading all of Lovecraft or all of Howard yet? I mean, there's just no point. So yeah, I the only reason there's such a hoo-ha over Martin is people who are illiterate of older fantasy and sci-fi.
I could not get into Game of Thrones. I just found it ungodly boring, and so I tried to watch it when it first came out, and I never made it past like episode 4 of the first season, and then I found out the show was going to end, and I was kind of like, okay, I'll go ahead and binge it, and I did, and I was just kind of like, I mean, really, I was just kind of like, I have nothing better to watch right now. And I got to the second to last episode before this final that everybody was going to see. And even I said, ho, 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 ho. I said, the people who love the show are going to be pissed with this final. I was like, I knew it was coming. I didn't know what was coming, but I just knew they were going to be pissed.
Dave G. Sound, someone, not me, recently said in a chat, Brokeback Lonely Mountain, and that is funny, folks. Lord, oh my gosh, yeah, and there, and you know, I just because there's nothing else new to watch, and I don't know any good new sci-fis to watch, and then you know now that the CW is in Nextstar's hands, I think that's who the television station people bought or got given the CW. They put all the CW shows on HBO Max. I was scanning looking to watch the character videos for House of Dragons, and then I saw damn Batwoman on HBO Max, and I almost canceled. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to House of Dragons, even though I know what's going on, because it looks better. But then we'll see. And then my other problem is, you know, I already made the promise to watch Rags of Power, but it's like I don't want to really give Amazon the watch minutes. Not that they're going to tell us the truth, but you know, at what tier do you wait so they don't get that initial bang of viewership minutes where they can go, oh, we're the #1 show on Amazon, when you don't show us the ratings and you know, right away, you know. So I'm unfortunately going to be in that batch that probably helps it go to #1, at least the first episode. But I'd like to find out how long you need to wait to watch these things where they don't get, you know, if you're skeptical, you know, they don't get the initial blast of viewers, you know. But this is going to be crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and there's nothing else to watch. As you know, I mean, I don't even know what to watch anymore.
I would say in that case, write something yourself. That's what I do. If you run out of things to watch, write something better yourself. That's
I would take Lord of the Rings, and you know, I'd probably, you know, have the Enterprise show up and blow up a few people, you know.
I had my daughter loves Stranger Things, and I enjoyed the first 3 seasons, but I won't even watch the season finale because this is, and I think Dr. Alex, you know, when you were talking about Orville and people said it was too long, I'm going to say that about Stranger Things. It was so long, so I'm like, you could cut so much of this bullshit out, and it was like I had to, you know, follow I think 4 to 5 storylines, and I'm kind of like, no, this is stupid. And my daughter was like, "Oh, you're gonna cry at the last." I told her, I said, "Honey, I stopped watching it." I said I had no interest in finishing. I haven't seen the season finale because it's 2.5 hours, and I'm like, I don't even like going to the movie theater for 2.5 hour movies.
Yeah, it seems like self-control and has gone out the window. Self-indulgence seems to be the only thing in the editing room right now in many of these places. I'm only a writer in the smallest, tiniest way possible, but I still set myself constraints. I self-limit what I can do. For example, the episodes for the Doctor stuff, they've been limited to an hour, no longer than an hour. And that constraint makes you write tighter. You can't waste words, you can't waste time, and you can't let people get bored.
Okay, well, back up on that, because, you know, the Flux, they wasted a lot of words. on the Doctor Who flux. But for Mega Cropper, all right. He wanted me to talk about Battlestar Galactica. Come on, better than this, Gap. Talk BSG. Okay, what I'm gonna do is Sauron is really a Cylon. And the hobbits are going to discover how to build vipers. They're going to go blow up the eye and the rings.
I think this comedy series you're putting forward would be better than what they're doing. So do it.
Honestly, you would do much better than that. Yeah. And
Basco
good morning,
scenario.
the Bosco scenario.
Yeah, in Basco scenario, I'm glad you found season 4 amazing. Absolutely. My daughter absolutely loved it as well. My oldest daughter loves Game of Thrones. I mean, she has the entire series. They just, that season wasn't for me. And
Right.
that's kind of it. There's no other way around it. But, I don't.
Well,
I don't
and as we were talking about earlier with the Orville, we've got differing opinions in the chat. We've got differing opinions by people in the same community.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I welcome the differences. We have different opinions on things, and I think as long as we are kind about it, not insulting, not mean or rude, we can agree to disagree.
The key word there is civil. If we're civil to each other, it's fine. It's the ones who can't be civil that it's like, what? I just don't have time. Like, for example, I absolutely loved the season of The Sandman on Netflix. I thought it was done amazingly well. I absolutely love it. It was my favorite comic. It still is.
Oh, you liberal. I'm just kidding.
I'm a liberal. Trust me, I'm far from a liberal.
Well,
I'm probably one of the biggest.
Actually, I don't have to storm this, but I do have to leave, unfortunately. I've got to.
Yeah,
no problem. You take care, Dr. Alex.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Bye, Dr. Alex. And I have to leave as well. I have to get ready for Lumberjack moment in about an hour. Where they come cut down trees, and maybe we'll discover some orcs or some fairies hidden under those roots.
Never know.
I tell you, keep the cameras around in case there's any more ball lightning.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was scary, y'all. Well,
it was in your house.
When we heard we saw the big burst of light, as we, of course, this all happened fast, but there was a big ball of light inside the living room. I mean, it was like an explode, like you see in a movie. It was just brilliant, bright light, and it was scary.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
It's like, oh my gosh, but yeah, I'm gonna go get ready. Maybe we'll discover, some orcs underneath the roots, or we'll find George R.R. Martin's last part of his book that he's never gonna finish, that he buried in my yard. But thanks, Captain. Hey, have a good day, Bird and B. Wonderful chat. Y'all are awesome. Everybody have a great day.
And Channel Starface, good morning. Good morning, Eric Sonder.
See, I know people who had taken issues with the Sandman for a couple of things. Main issue people had was the woman who portrayed Death. They consider it race swapping because she was a very pale goth-like. The reason why I don't consider it that way is the Endless are really what you see of them is an interpretation of how people view them. They can be viewed differently by like people who know Dream as like a being in the comic will see him differently of different parts of the world, including Martian Manhunter even saw him as what his race thought, what the Green Martian saw him as. So that was an interpretation they saw. So I was okay with it, but I know a lot of people weren't. There was really only one real race swap, and that was his librarian. And I was like, I'm okay with this. I just, it didn't bother me like it bothered some people. And I don't
Right.
know why. Maybe that's just because I kind of know, I've read a lot of Neil Gaiman, and I kind of know how his, I can't say I know how his mind works, but I know how he kind of does things. And I watched a lot of his interviews on that where he said, "Oh, you did this, you did." He goes, "No." It's like people were saying, "Oh, they gender swapped Lucifer." It's like, no, not in his comic. His comic, Lucifer was an androgynous. That was very plainly put out there. But I know the lore of the comic very well. So, and I just thought it really stayed true. And I thought the guy that got to play the Sandman really took his time to research that character and really play it right.
Well, that's good. That's good. A lot of actors, actresses, whatever, have stopped doing a lot of research because they just do whatever the right, the writers will say, here's what you need, and okay. And good morning, Pops.
Yeah, Pops, yes, I totally understand where you're coming from there too. I absolutely understand where you're coming from there. And yes, having two Joanna Constantines was kind of silly to have Joanna Constantine in the past and then have a descendant not be John Constantine, be Joanna Constantine. So I saw where people had issue with that. And yeah, those were a couple issues I took with it as well. There was no need to have two Joanna Constantines. Or as it's, I guess, the way the British say it, Constantine.
The only thing I dislike about a lot of the changes is a lot of them tend to be redheads that are being changed.
Oh, yes.
Race. Like, what's wrong with a redhead?
Well, if they ever did, for example, if they ever did a Horizon Zero Dawn movie based on the video game, if she is not a flaming redhead, my son will literally want to throw something at the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is one of his most favorite characters and his most favorite games. He plays Zero Dawn. He plays Forbidden West very regularly. He loves the character of Aloy. When we went to the convention a year or so ago, and there was a cosplay person completely decked out as Aloy, and he just was so excited to see that. Hell, I was excited to see it because she had the the lady said she spent 2 years on the costume. She had the bow properly. She had the hair done. She had her hair done, not just red, but literally braided the way Aloy does it. I was blown away by her attention to detail.
Watch my pronouns. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Pronouns, mine.
Yes, yeah. Screw that.
Oh God, when is that fad going to end?
Not soon enough. Not soon enough. So, Bert, how was Mama Pray this morning?
Okay.
Pops, that's a valid point. That is a valid point. I agree with you.
That is when, yeah, when it gets to a character you care about, exactly.
Yes, and I totally get that. And yes, I took some issue with Death not being the way she's represented in the comic. I did take issue with that. I just didn't make a big deal out of it at that point. But overall, I felt the show overall really stuck to the heart of the material, and I was very happy with that overall. But Yeah, I'm not going to say it was perfect. I did take some issue with Death mostly being a black character, not a white goth chick like she's represented. I did enjoy the fact that I got to see the character Hobbs and the comic representation of that on live screen, and that was really nice because that was one of my favorite issues. And basically, all it is Death meeting a guy. Death grants this guy immortality until he decides he wants to die, and every 100 years, him and Dream meet in a bar. And they have a conversation about what he's been doing and stuff. And I found it to always be one of the most touching, beautifully written comics I've read. Well, Pops, I hope you enjoy it. I really do. I don't know how familiar you are with the lore of the Sandman. But it is a good point to say, yes, when it's characters you really care about, that does tend to, have impact on you. Like, for example,
Absolutely.
I absolutely hated the fact that they race swapped Jimmy Olsen and Supergirl. I hated it. I was like, this is not Jimmy. He doesn't even act like Jimmy Olsen.
That's another ginger being swapped, and then
yeah, I don't understand what they have to, but yet they'll have Amber Heard on.
I don't know. I'm not. The funny thing is, I'm not usually the one talking about changes being made. Of course, I happen to be attracted to redheads, so. Yeah, I kind of have a dog in that fight.
Well, for me, I'm very attracted to redheads and brunettes, but my biggest thing is I love freckles. So, yeah, kind of, generally freckles and gingers go hand in hand.
Yep.
And I have I have a big attraction to women with freckles. Why is that? I don't know. There's only one person in my entire family who even is a redhead and freckled, and that's my cousin Ayla. Nobody else is, and I think she got that from her mom's side of the family because nobody on my side of the family anywhere is ginger at all.
Right.
Maybe that's why the attraction is there, because it's something I didn't grow up seeing.
That's good. You never know. Things will happen in our lives that, all of a sudden something will be, and that's what you're drawn to. And, it's just something that's there. You can't necessarily control it.
No. I mean, I've stated with people, I'm like, it comes down to your attraction. I really think comes down to both your nature and your nurture.
In Jimmy Olsen's case, the race swap was almost treated like a plot twist of the show. Surprise, here's your new Jimmy.
Yeah, he doesn't even go by Jimmy. He doesn't even like it. And then all of a sudden, her adopted sister, out of the blue, is gay and didn't realize it because she's just been a workaholic her whole life. I'm kind of like, give me a break.
Okay, let me see here. She doesn't realize her sexual orientation until later because she's a workaholic. Right. I buy that. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
No, it doesn't. And to top it all off, I really, they say they want more representation, and I'm kind of like, most of these shows treat the bisexual and lesbian women like sluts.
Exactly.
That was
That's the problem. You have the gay lesbian characters. They all end up being treated like they're sluts, which is far from the truth.
well, it's like with Legends of Tomorrow. That was the last one I stopped watching because they took the best character, White Canary, who was already established as bisexual, and turned her into basically a lesbian slut. And I was just kind of like, you ruined the best character on the damn show.
Yeah.
There was a show I was watching called it was a Hispanic show called Who Killed Sarah, and you had these two characters who they were gay, they were married. One was a lawyer, one was I forgot what his other job was, and one of them got killed off. And my wife and I were actually generally mad that he got killed off because we thought he was a great character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key thing. You don't have to, focus so much on the sexuality to make a good character. They loved each other. They were establishing themselves. And, you had one who was very sure of himself, very dominant, and not dominant in that way, but, you could tell he was the one who was more confident, more sure of himself. And you had the one who was, unfortunately, his dad was very bigoted about his sexuality and made no bones about it. And it really hurt his self-esteem all the time because he just wanted his dad to be proud of him and felt he could not do anything to do that because his dad hated it that he did that.
Right.
And that was a real good story. It explained why he was acting, why he was the way he was. And I mean, that was good writing. And that was a Mexican show because it was produced down in I think Mexico City.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's it's all in Spanish. You have to, unless you know how to speak Spanish fluently. Yeah, you have to put the English dubs on. Unfortunately, one downside about that is I like to watch shows with subtitles, and it's hard to do with a foreign show because the subtitles do not match up with the dubs a
No.
lot of times, and it's very
No.
frustrating.
Well, what's funny is when you hear what's being said and read what's supposed to be being said, and even though you're not speaking the language, it's like, that's not right.
Yeah, it can be frustrating, but the show lasted 3 seasons, and it was I thought, very well done. I was a little disappointed in the third season. I felt they kind of got rushed and they were trying to just wrap everything up. But overall, I think I'm going to give it enough. I think I'm going to give the whole season. There was such a long gap between the second and third season because of COVID. I think I'm going to watch it again from the beginning, and I'll probably have a different appreciation for the third season after that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you will.
But
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, you don't have to. You can have gay, bisexual, even trans characters, and not focus solely on that one aspect of them because that ruins it. Because that just basically is saying that's all you see with those people, that type of people. And I'm like, this is just so wrong and very much insulting.
Oh, I agree completely. I mean, you have to take an aspect of a person and make it the sole focus. That's just wrong. No matter what the aspect of a person is, whether it be their gender, their sexual orientation, their whatever. There are more than one aspect to their being.
Exactly. I agree. Hey, Cap, thanks for having me on. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to see if my wife wants to go grab breakfast in Terre Haute before we drop off the truck.
Well, you know what? I was getting ready to wrap up anyhow. But thank you for coming on, NB. It was good to have you on.
All right. Good to see you. Good to see Bird. Tell
Take
Mama
care.
Pray and everybody in the family we said hi, and I will catch you all on a flip side.
Then there were two.
No, there were two. So, Bird, you got anything coming up today? Or are you gonna just?
I may or may not play poker. Actually, today is Cinnabon's birthday, and he had mentioned he wanted to do a massive stream today. So I was hoping he would stream at some point, and I would be over there if and when he does. If he doesn't stream, then I will probably do a poker stream at around 4 p.m. or so. But be on the lookout for Cinnabon. Wish him a happy birthday when you see him.
Absolutely. Look out for Cinnamon Bunny. If he streams, join him. If not, join Burner Pro 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm assuming, for poker. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Go on over to Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Tell him that Captain Pat and Earth sent you. Talk to you later. Have a great day.